This is the ultimate mouse optimization guide for the lowest possible input delay and more consistent mouse movements. In order to achieve that, we'll be using a multitude of different optimizations, so there's a high chance you haven't heard of them. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about EXM, which is our brand new PC optimization app. You can try it out for completely free on exmtweaks.com, and the tutorial for it is in the description. You can try it out for free, just check the link in the description. And of course, if it helps and you want to completely optimize your PC for the best possible performance, make sure to check out the premium version. You won't regret it. Before we get into the optimizations themselves, we need to make sure a few external things. So first of all, if you're on a wireless mouse, make sure the USB dongle is positioned correctly. It should be around the same distance as your monitor is, so your mouse can get the best signal. Next up, you want to ensure that your mouse is plugged into the correct USB port. In our old mouse guide, I showed you how to do this manually by searching through your motherboard manual, but now there's a simple tool that can scan it for you. Go to the website in the description and you will find this. Just press copy and paste it into PowerShell. I can assure you this is 100% safe, but if you're not comfortable doing that, I'll leave a guide on how to check it manually through your motherboard manual in the description. But just run this. So essentially what you want to do here is make sure that your mouse, which for me that is USB receiver, is plugged into the best possible USB port available, which is the chipset ones in my case. If your PC has a direct CPU USB port, which is the green one, then you want to plug your mouse in the green one. If you don't, plug it in the yellow one. But yeah, you can also do this for your keyboard or other important devices if there's multiple available. This is a very useful tool, and shout out to Marius here, hope I'm saying that right, for making it. Real quick, just want to say, if you're enjoying the video and you find it helpful so far, please leave a like and subscribe. If we hit 2,000 likes on this video in the first week, I'll do a pretty big giveaway on our Discord. Alright, there's a couple more external things that you can do, which I would recommend. First of all is cleaning your mousepad. I know some people who haven't cleaned their mousepad in 2 years, and that seriously just ruins the glide, which of course will make your aim better. You can also do things like upgrading your mouse with mouse skates and buying a new mousepad, but I'm not really going to get into that as mostly that's personal preference. Let's just get into the optimizations. So first, you want to open your mouse software. Depending on your brand, your software might look different, but it will pretty much have the same settings. First thing I want to talk about is DPI. I would highly recommend setting your DPI to 1600, as it makes your mouse movement more accurate and decreases movement latency. I'll link a video explaining this below, but the difference between 400 Hz and 1600 Hz is about 5 milliseconds of input delay, which is a worthwhile investment. When you change your DPI, you will need to change your sensitivity in game accordingly. That means that if you double it, you'll have to divide your sensitivity by 2, and so on. Next up, you want to make sure that your mouse firmware is up to date. You can find that somewhere in your software. If you have RGB features on your mouse, I would highly recommend disabling them, as first of all, it makes your battery life worse if you're on a wireless mouse. Second of all, it uses a bit of CPU usage, and it puts a bit of stress on your mouse. There's a reason why all pros have RGB on their mouse and even keyboard disabled. Afterwards, we have the refresh rate, which this really depends on if your mouse allows it and on your PC. In my opinion, unless you're on like an extremely high-end PC, I wouldn't go over 2000 Hz. I would just stick between 1000 and 2000 Hz. The difference is very small, and using these extremely high refresh rates such as 4000 or 8000 puts a lot of strain on your CPU. So in my opinion, it's not worth it to go all the way up. Afterwards, if your mouse software has it, mine doesn't, but I would disable any unnecessary features like ripple control, angle snapping, and anything of that sort. And most importantly, if your mouse supports it, always use onboard memory mode. That means that you don't have to have your mouse software open in the background. Alright, so that's everything for your mouse software. Let's move on to the additional optimizations, which you can find in the EXM app. There, of course, will be in the hardware page. In the peripherals category, you can disable things such as mouse acceleration, power saving features, sticky keys, and even optimize your USB ports. Another good feature is this, which is called HeatSBF. In here, find your mouse, which for me it's this. Set the refresh rate to whatever your preferred refresh rate is. Select filter on device and press install service. This will help keep your mouse refresh rate more stable, as for example, if you have it set to 1000, it can actually dip to like 700 or even 600 in some cases. This will just help keep it stable, which will make your latency better. Another thing I would recommend doing is, since we're only talking about mouses here, I would recommend applying our power plan, as it will disable USB selective suspend and other USB power saving features. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, guys.